Welcome learners to Form 3 Mathematics. My name is Teacher Jane. We are going to look at formula Form 3 work. There was this problem which was brought in year 2013, and we are told to make D the subject of the formula. Make D the subject of the formula. So our D is here as D squared. So how do we make it the subject of the formula? So learner, if you look at this problem, you can see that we have denominators here and here. These are fractions. So the first thing that you do to make your work very easy is to get the LCM so that you are able to remove those denominators. The LCM of this and this, learner, is 2n. The LCM is 2n. So you come and multiply now with 2n here. Look at that, learner. Multiply with the 2n there. Multiply this other one with 2n. So learner, this becomes what? 2np. 2np is equals to what? Cancel these two. 2 goes with that. 2 with the 2. And therefore you are left with n squared times n. So it will be n cubed. N squared times n is n cubed. So you'll be left with n cubed. Good. From there, you cancel n with n, learner. Cancel n with n. So you're left with 2 times this, which gives us minus 2qd squared. Okay, so from there we have our d squared here. So take this term to this other side, and therefore, so you take it to this other side and you bring this on this other side. So take this on this side, so you get 2qd squared. 2qd squared is equals to mn cubed minus, once you take this to the other side, 2np. Okay, to be left with the d squared, learner, we want to make d the subject of the formula. To be left with d squared, divide here by 2q, and also on this other side 2q, so that you are left, so that this one cancels with that. Okay, so you end up with d squared is equals to mn cubed minus 2np divided by 2q. So here we have d squared. How do we make it d? You find square root on both sides. Find square root on both sides. So what do you get, learner? So you'd get d is equals to square root of all these mn squared cubed minus 2np divided by 2q. Once you get square root on this side, learner, square root of a number is either positive or negative. So remember to put those signs. And so that is your answer. We come to this other one, learner. KCSE year 2001, Form 3 work. You are told to make x the subject of this formula. Learner, if you look at this formula, you have a square root sign. So the first thing is to remove this square root sign. Remove the square root sign by doing what? You square both sides. Square both sides. Square both sides. So you come and square here. You square your w because it is multiplying all these. Then you square this, learner. Look at that. So you end up with s squared is equals to w squared in brackets. The root sign disappears. So you are left with a squared minus what? Minus x squared. Remember, we want to make x the subject of the formula. So we can remove this bracket. So s squared is equals to w squared a squared minus w squared x squared. From there, learner, take this term to the other side, the one that has x, and bring this other one on this side. So taking this to this side, we get w squared we get w squared x squared is equals to w squared a squared minus, if you take to this to this other side, it becomes that. So from there, learner, we need our x. So we need to remove this by dividing by w squared. Look at that, learner. Divide by w squared. So w squared and w squared cancel out. And so you are left with x squared, learner, is equals to w squared a squared minus a squared divided by w squared. Finally, how do you get your x? You find square root on both sides. So you come and say x is equals to what? Square root of w squared a squared minus s squared over w squared, learner. Remember, square root of a number is either positive or negative. Again, remember to put those signs there. You can simplify this and write it as what? Positive or negative square root of what? You can be able to find the square root of w squared, which is w. So the root sign now remains with the numerator, like that. The root sign remains with the numerator, and now square root of w is w. And so, learner, this is the answer. So go and practice on that. When you are given fractions, the first thing is to remove those fractions from the formula by multiplying throughout with LCM. If you have square root sign, you first remove it by squaring both sides, and then you continue. All the best. God bless you.